Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, and a very late night episode, because I was just genuinely busy for most of today. So you know that's just how it goes. So I'm recording this not on the day I should be recording it, and it'll probably be recorded about an hour before it will actually go up or something. Relatively tired. Well, actually, I'm not actually that tired. I'm gonna be honest. I actually sleep pretty late. Probably later than maybe necessarily I should. But you know, hey ho, here we go. A little too high and a little low. But good evening, everyone. Right now, I'm here with a late night broadcast. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I hope I can make it through this. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 1 a.m. on, well, currently Friday, April 19th, 2024, but theoretically it should be Thursday, April 18th, 2024. But yeah, so I'm not sure if she'll actually say the things to I think she will, because I believe the daily reset is at like 3 a.m. And Animal Crossing, but I suppose we'll find out. But yeah, I was just busy for most of the day, so I just like didn't really have time to do stuff. And I also got, I'm gonna be honest, kind of distracted. Like I was busy, you know, I came home late and that sort of thing, and I started playing some games, and then, you know, I was gonna be like, okay, Honkai Star Rail, you know, now's the time. I got a bit of spare time. Let's try and tackle Memory of Chaos 12 with Aventurine as the new boss. I've not managed to do it yet. I've not managed to get that 3 stars yet. And it's very much a play. Well, not very much a thing. Well, I mean, obviously, like with any right amount of investment, you can defeat these bosses, I suppose, within the time limit. But it's probably the first Memory of Chaos in a while where I feel like, I'm kind of gated by the characters and teams I play. Because I don't have a team which can take down the Aventurine side, like even remotely quickly. You know, which, you know, I'm certainly struggling with. I'm trying to figure out. My best thing so far has been one turn rotation off, which is not bad, which makes me think it might be doable. It might be doable, but also at the same time, I'm like, I might want to pull Jingle, not because of a Memory Chaos, because I'm just like, I'm kind of going back and forth if I want to pull her or not. You know, it's a big decisions to make during Star Rail, because I initially wanted to pull her. Like, she was my most anticipated character, and then she became like one of my least anticipated characters somehow. She like did a complete, not least anticipated, but I was like no longer interested in her. But now I'm like, I've got a lot of characters which I was actually kind of interested in. So it's like, do I pull for her? Do I save up for Robin next patch instead? I don't know. I'm on a guarantee as well. So I did pull to first 50-50 on her banner anyway, just to see what happened. And I lost it. So I was just like, I mean, I could, I think, get her because I have enough of a star glitter equivalent. But then it's like, oh, then I'm like very unlikely to get Robin, and I'm like, but like I play the follow-up team all the time. I don't know. It's basically my answer, I suppose. I guess the answer is just sort of like get good with Star Rail and just like actually succeed. But you know, we've got Star Rail, we've got shiny colours of also things that happen. If I don't get the Star Rail stuff, and you know, that's perfectly fine with me because it's not really that big a deal. I think losing out on like a small amount of currency in the first place. So right now, like most of the time, I'm sort of just doing shiny colours, trying to get I forgot what I was gonna say. Trying to get enough true ends to start pulling the parallel convergence or parallel whatever, parallel fest gacha, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, but that's all for me. What are we going to talk about today? I think the Apprentice final was today. I don't watch it. I didn't really keep up with Apprentice, so I hope it was entertaining at the very least. This weekend, what am I going to do? This weekend I am going to probably be building more of a backlog for video recordings, because I certainly need to, because I'm not going to be here this next weekend, which is fine. Well, actually, I didn't think about it. The streaming is going to be a bit interesting. I will probably then stream next Thursday or Tuesday? How's that going to work? I'm not sure, but I didn't think about that. But basically, I'm not here on the weekend next week. I mean, maybe I might be here on like Sunday evening, but I highly doubt it, to be perfectly honest. So I don't know when I'm going to stream. Because I can't stream on Monday and Wednesday. That's D&D night. I can maybe stream on Tuesday. Or Thursday. Which, I mean, you might be like, you don't have to stream. You could literally just like take a day off streaming. But I don't know. I find streaming kind of fun, to be perfectly honest. So I guess we'll just see. It will be an impromptu stream. And considerably a late night one. Not that I've got anything against doing a late night stream or anything. Probably Tuesday makes the most sense to me, but I'm not entirely certain about that. I didn't actually think about that. I know I'm going to be doing a lot of recording this weekend. I'm going to be doing like so much recording, I think, on Friday and Saturday, because I'm just like, I need to build up a backlog. I need to actually do it. I need to actually do the thumbnail art as well, so hopefully there'll be time for that as well. That's a plan. What are we going to talk about today? I don't really know, to be perfectly honest. I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what I need to do? I also need to do my Neopets dailies as well. There's a stealth paintbrush in my weekly quests, which I'm just like, that's pretty good. I like paintbrushes. I actually already have a stealth pet, but I'm like, I don't actually want this pet to be a stealth pet anymore. Which might sound crazy to say. But there is another pet I want to make a stealth pet eventually. But, you know, that's far from the horizons. The next thing I want to actually do is I want to have a Bunny. You might be like, what are you talking about? I don't know. I'm just kind of talking about... I'm trying to think of something. There was something I wanted to talk about. I don't remember what it is anymore. It's like completely just gone from my memory. What did I want to talk about? It wasn't even going to be interesting, I'm pretty sure. But there was something I was like, this would be a good thing to, or an entertaining thing to talk about, but I genuinely cannot remember what it was. So I don't know, we're going to go to Arshas Games. Pokemon Go's new avatar system is unfortunately live. I actually saw a picture from this and I was just like, what? But I think the image I saw was actually a rather unflattering image, but I don't know people... I mean, it seems like it's not particularly popular, but who am I to judge? I'm not really someone who plays Pokemon Go in the first place. Okay, let's sell just all this stuff. We don't need to sell that. I wonder if we've almost used up our entire like storage back in our house. Sorry, what are we going to talk about? I don't know. Late night recordings. Yeah, I mean, like I tend to not sleep as much as the average person. I don't tend to need all that much sleep, to be perfectly honest. Like I would say I function normally on 5 hours, which is. I'm not going to say like I want to get 5 hours of sleep every night. Like at the end of the day, I'm still human, so you know, getting like 8 hours of sleep, which I think is recommended, still feels nice. But I am fine on 5 hours, and I can operate. I could say I would operate up, like down to 3 hours, but I wouldn't really want to be honest. It's not great. It kind of depends what I'm doing. If I'm doing like if I'm having a low key day, it's certainly a lot easier. If I'm having a very intense day, I don't know why I would particularly want to operate on 3 hours of sleep. But if need be, I can. Strangely, I'm not very good at doing all-nighters. I have done an all-nighter once. Have I spoken about all-nighters before? I'm not sure. This is where we open up YouTube and go to my YouTube studios just to see. Apparently I got a new subscriber. Fantastic. What was I going to... Okay. All-nighter. Apparently I never talked about all-nighter. Okay, yeah. I've done an all-nighter. Not many times. A couple of times I can think of. One time I can think of was during university. This was definitely the worst all-nighter, and I don't even know why I did it. But I was basically doing work. Like I was doing a worksheet about that sort of thing, and I was just like, I left it like really last minute or that sort of thing, or like I was struggling with it. I honestly don't remember anymore, and I basically pulled an all-nighter to try and finish it off, which is completely unnecessary. To be perfectly honest, because it's not like they're being graded. These worksheets are very much for your own benefit, and I was so unproductive at doing the worksheet past like 3 a.m. But that's why I have a distinct memory of like being like I should just go to sleep, but I'm like I need to do more questions though. And that was sort of it. But I remember all-nighter, and I think ever since I've done that, I'm like, there's literally no point in me doing an all-nighter. I would have done so much better if I just like went to sleep and then maybe woke up a little bit earlier to try and do some more work or something. But there was no point in me pulling an all-nighter there. There are some cases to pull an all-nighter, certainly. Like if it like, I'm not gonna say like emergencies. Well, I mean yes, in emergency services, but I don't mean like if you're operating an ambulance you should pull an all-nighter. Like if anything, I feel like emergency services, those are people you definitely want to have on a good night's sleep, but you know, that's unfortunately not a reality of a system, at least here in the UK. I forgot what I was going to say about this. But like, I mean, there are times that you will have to pull an all-nighter. And another one I can think of is, I spoke about it before, but like I went on a school trip around sixth form time, so around like, I was 18, 17, where we went to Switzerland. And for some reason on our way back, our plane was like really delayed. It was so delayed, but I remember that they were like, as they were like trying to make it up to the passengers, the one thing they were doing is like they were inviting people to go to like the cockpit and see what was going on. And I remember I sat in the cockpit seat, I put like the hat on, and then I like chatted with a pilot. I remember I asked so many questions to the pilots, basically being like, what does each sort of thing like do? I was very inquisitive. I mean, I'm still inquisitive now, to be perfectly honest, but yeah, I just remember our flight was super delayed. I think it was delayed like 8 hours or something, because we were meant to land like in the afternoon or evening, I think, of that day, and then we landed at like 4 a.m. or something. You know, my parents actually picked me up from school still, because, you know, that's very kind of them. I mean, there were no trains at that point, so there was not like really much I could do about it. So, you know, thank you to the dear darling parents for doing so. But I remember like we landed on like a Wednesday or Thursday or something, so we had school the next day, and a significant amount of people who went on that trip just didn't go to school the next day. Fair enough, because it's like, you know, pretty difficult to make yourself come into school in like 2 hours of sleep, but I was one of them who did, along with some of my friends, I think, as well. We were all too good to be like truant. And although, you know, actually truancy is like illegal in the UK, you can't not. Interesting order. You woke up very quickly. You can't like not go to school, but I think that's certainly a thing where the teachers were like, okay, we're gonna like turn a blind eye to this one. I do remember going to like our electronics class, and then the teacher basically being like, oh, you lot are here today, high five for, you know, actually coming into school, I suppose, after having such little sleep. That one comes to mind. What other times have I pulled an all-nighter? I'm gonna be honest, it's not really something that's happened all that often. But there have been like some party things where I've done kind of all-nighters. Like there's been parties which I've gone on to like 6 a.m. but then I still have slept. Actually, one of them was in university. There was basically a party which went on till like the whole point is you're kind of like meant to stay up, and then once you stay up long enough, they like take a photo, and you're like, oh yeah, like I survived or something. I forgot what I was going to say about this. But you do that, and then I remember that I was going to like leave university for that year. Like I was going to go back home literally the day after this party happened. I don't know why I did it on literally the day after. I have no recollection why I chose to do that, but I did for some reason. So I remember I like finished on party, and I like got back to my room. It was like 7 a.m. or something, and like my parents were going to come pick me up in like 1 hour. I like collapsed in my bed, and then I woke up to them calling me, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, they're already here. So I mean, that wasn't like an all-nighter, I guess, because I was awake, I suppose, but that's like effectively, I would say, an all-nighter. I don't really know what I was going with, to be honest. I'm trying to think of another time I've pulled an all-nighter. I can't really think of another time. Or at least one that comes to mind. I'm sure I've probably done it a few other times. Not often. As I say, like I don't really have much reason to do an all-nighter. I think like the benefits of an all-nighter compared to at least getting like 3 hours of sleep or something. Like 3 hours of sleep is like a significant upgrade over having 0 hours of sleep. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, sleep is a very interesting thing in general. The fact that, like, I don't know if it's still true, but I remember reading something in a book once, being like, we hadn't really figured out, like, the reason that scientists thus far are like, oh, why do we need to sleep? And the answer is because we get tired. Like, that's it. Not that's it necessarily, but there's also some sort of like chemical signal or something, which I remember that they like tested injecting it into like a dog, and then the dog just like immediately like fell asleep or something. I don't remember, maybe it's like cortisol or something, but that doesn't make sense. No, because cortisol is something to do with heart, isn't it? Like heart blood pressure? I don't remember. But yeah, I don't know if that's true anymore, but it was a thing that I remember reading, just basically being like, the only thing we know about why humans need to sleep is because we get tired, and like the only way to get rid of tiredness is to sleep, which is crazy, in my opinion, to hear about. But if that's genuinely true, I don't really know what to think about, to be honest. It's sort of like a strange situation where it's like, I don't know how else to describe it except for like it's weird. Like, is there really no explanation we have except for we have to do it because we have to do it? I'm also playing Neopets, by the way, on my other monitor. Multitasking, as they say. So you might hear some weird noises like me playing Fashion Fever. Or me spinning the wheel of mediocrity. Actually, I can mute that. Like, it doesn't feel like... Because if you ask me, like, would I predict, like, why we need sleep, it's because we have, like, staying awake. No joke, I ran out of disk space while trying to record that. So I will now, this video is going to be even more delayed as I need to edit this video together. That was strange. Like, I've cleared up now some disk space. I've now got 50 gigabytes free again. I really need to get myself another drive to actually, like, just for like storing videos or something on, even if it's just like a small one. I currently have 3 drives. I've got, I think, no, I've only got 2. I used to have 3. I had one just for my operating system, and I had one to actually store things on, and then I had like a big HDD just to store like the actual things on, but that HDD broke ages ago, and I've been meaning to get a new SSD drive for ages. I just haven't done it yet. I really should, especially now that I've downloaded like some really large games onto my computer. Like both Siege and Valorant are very large games, and you know, I'm trying to actively play them because they're fun games. I should very much get some more space for my computer, but alas, especially because I have so many like applications installed as well. Anyway, sorry, all-nighters. Oh, there was another all-nighter. Well, it was not really an all-nighter. I don't know how you define an all-nighter. Like, staying up more than 20... I guess it has to be like more than 36 hours or something, right? Because staying up for 25... Well, I don't know. I guess an all-nighter would be literally staying up for more than 24 hours, right? Okay, there's another one that I did, which was... It's always holiday time because the timings are super weird. But we... Like, me and a friend, we went to Japan, and then, like, on the way back, basically our flight was at, like, 6 a.m. or something in the morning, and it was like, okay, but, like, we have to, like, I can't remember, no, our flight was super early. It was, like, basically as soon as the airport, no, as soon as, like, it was, like, one of the first flights of the day, back home, but the problem is, like, we couldn't get any there was no public transport earlier to get to the airport in the first place to actually do that. In retrospect, maybe we should have just called a taxi, but when we were just like, okay, I mean, it's not like we're going to do anything on that day, why don't we just go in the evening and we'll just stay in the airport overnight? And I remember I pulled an all-nighter for that. I don't really remember why, because like in my head it's like, we'll stay awake to make sure no one like messes with us or takes our bags. But again, also in Japan, one of probably the most respectable and like lower, or one of the lowest like crime rates or something in the world. I don't think people would be particularly stealing our stuff or anything like that. So I remember just pulling an all-nighter for that. Well, actually, my justification was I would just stay awake from this, and then I would just sleep on the plane because that's what I was going to do anyway. And that's basically what I did. So I stayed up for like I guess it would like woke up at 7, stayed up, and for a bit over 24 hours. So it wasn't like a particularly long time or anything. But did that, and I just slept on a plane. Yeah, so not many times I did all-nighters. It seems like most of the time is just due to travel, but that's just kind of how the timing works out. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this episode off here. I need to, I guess, render this video, so let's get DaVinci Resolve open. And then I will, I don't know, maybe I'll try doing the Memory of Chaos again. But if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.